Assalamualaikum and welcome back. Next common surface that I'm going to show you is ellipsoid. This is a general equation for ellipsoid. So let's go straight to an example. Right, so let's say you're given this equation x squared plus y squared plus z squared over 4 equals 1. Obviously, the left-hand side is positive, and it has to be always equal to 1. Okay, so what we need to do is we're going to sketch one level curve, which is a view from above. Two traces. One is the view from the front and another is view from the side. So for view from above, we have to pick z equals a constant. So let's see. Can we pick z equals 0? Will that be a valid equation? Alright, so if we let z equals 0, the equation will be reduced to this. X squared plus y squared over 9 equals 1. And yes, this is a valid equation. This is an equation of an ellipse. Okay, so let's sketch our ellipse. So here the ellipse would be on the xy plane. It is longer, parallel to the y-axis, since here b squared is 9. Okay, so let's say this is 3, this is -3. Let's say that's a -1, this is 1. So we have an ellipse like so. So here, when z is 0, we have an ellipse. Since this is not a point, so we can only sketch one view from above. If it's just a point like that on origin, it's very hard to tell the shape of the surface. But this is not a point, it's an ellipse. So we can proceed to looking at the view from the front. Okay, the view from the front, we need x as a constant. So let's say we pick x equals 0. Will that give us a valid equation? Alright, so when when x is 0, the equation is reduced to this. And again, this is an equation of an ellipse, okay, where it will intersect the y-axis at 3 and intersect the z-axis at 2. Okay, so we have an ellipse as well. So here we have y-axis, z-axis. It intersects the z-axis at 2 and -2. So let's say this is -2, this is 2, and it intersects the y-axis at 3 and -3. So again, we have an ellipse. Okay, so we sketch the ellipse. Right, so this is a view from the front. Okay, now let's look at the view from the side. The view from the side is when we let y as a constant. Okay, let's see. Can we pick y equals 0? Will that give us a valid equation? Yes, the equation now will be reduced to x squared plus z squared over 4 equals 1. Again, this is an equation of an ellipse. Okay, so if we sketch this on a plane, the plane would be on the xz plane. Right, so where this is x-axis, this is z-axis. Right, it will intersect the z-axis at 2 and -2, and on the x-axis at 1 and -1. Okay, so we have an ellipse as well. Okay, now the fun part, putting them all together in the x, y, z space. Okay, putting them together on the x, y, z space, we have the z-axis, x-axis, and y-axis. Y, x, z. So this one is -y, this is -x, this is -z. Okay, let's look at the trace, or the level curve, sorry, when z is 0. Okay, so you just plot this, you sketch this ellipse on the xy plane. That is when z is 0. So it intersects the y-axis at 3, -3, and on the x-axis at 1 and -1. So let's say this is 3, 1, 2. Okay, this is -3, and on the x-axis at 1 and -1. So let's say this is 1, this is -1. So we have an ellipse. Okay, and the view from the front is when x is 0. This is the trace. When x is 0, it intersects the z-axis at 2 and -2, and on the y-axis at -3 and 3. Okay, so let's say this is a 2, and this is -2, and it also will go through these 2 points. So we have an ellipse as well. Okay, and another view is on y equals 0 plane. It is also an ellipse. It intersects the z-axis at 2 and -2, and on the x-axis at 1 and -1. So we have an ellipse as well. Okay, I'm going to use the dotted curve there. Right, so this is a shape that is called ellipsoid. Okay, an example of an ellipsoid, which is governed by this equation. Okay, that's all. Thank you.